Our third guest today and our final guest is a very exciting topic he's going to be talking about. His name's Joe Medlin, and Joe is with the River Parks Authority. It's good to have you here, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to be talking about Zink Lake, everything that's going into it, the new bridge that goes across the river to the west side. It just seemed to happen. It just seemed to be wham, out of the air. But it took some time to put all this in place, didn't it?
Yeah, it was about a 5-year project that included a little bit of a flood before it got started. But yes, I mean, Zink Lake has come online, and I don't think the Tulsa residents really knew the gym they were going to have to be able to play on as soon as they got off work, Saturdays and Sundays. The rowing club being back on the water just gives you those nostalgic Ivy League.
Oh, yeah.
Boats going up and down first thing in the morning. It's almost just breathtaking to see that this is right in the midst of downtown and midtown.
Let's talk a little bit about the bridge itself, and we'll get into the ancillary things that go with that. But the bridge itself is lit at night, and I got to tell you, that's impressive.
It really is. And you know, we had an older bridge that was very historic. That I've met 10 people that got engaged on that bridge. I believe this new bridge will be exactly the same, and it's just a spectacle at night with the arches and the reflection of the water and the lights of it. And it will change color when the seasons change. Breast cancer awareness, it'll go pink. You know, 918 day, it'll be the colors of the Tulsa flag. So it changes colors to whatever we need to celebrate. And it is an amazing view of downtown. And the architects set the benches to look at downtown. And then what everyone's discovered is the wildlife in the dam to the south of it is just as breathtaking. It becomes a braided river again south of the dam. And with that brings the wildlife, the herrings, the pelican migration, and all the things that wildlife offers.
It's going to be a photographer's dream.
Yes.
Absolutely a dream. I'd be curious to know, do you get many folks down there trying to well, first of all, where they use their kayaks is not a gentle place. Do you get many guys down there from, say, out of state that come in to do this?
We do. Opening weekend, we had a young man that corresponded with us for 2-3 weeks before opening, drove in from North Carolina, used our park, made a trip just for it, and then one of the pleasures for me is I did first paddle. We got a group of local kayakers together, and when the lake opened at 4 o'clock, we paddled across the lake from West Festival Park, where Oktoberfest happens, to see the mayor cut the ribbon and the parade across the dam. And the gentleman I paddled over with was 60-something years old, came over from Arkansas and used to perform and play and do rodeos on the original Tulsa Wave next to PSO. And we paddled over together, and he played all evening and was very excited to be able to come back. So,
well, and it's not without its hazards. So there are safety venues folks have to put into place, like, for God's sake, wear a helmet, you know, when you try to use your kayak there. But it also opens up the door to rowing, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. So the rowing community was coming out here to Claremore and Verdigris and using the navigational channel. That's where TU's row house came. But we have a beautiful rowing community there at West Festival. We have a master's and a youth program. And they tripled their numbers on opening weekends of signups.
Wow.
Because they're finally able to be in the Tulsa Metro and get in their boats and row. So at 5 in the morning, just as dawn's breaking, the masters are out there rowing. And then in the afternoons, when school gets out, you have a bunch of kids out learning to row, and they have a great scholarship rate. For kids that are graduating out of their program, they're heading off to colleges and rowing for universities. So it's just another sport and another activity for the youth of Tulsa to partake in.
And how do you say scholarship? The thing I haven't heard here, and I want to press you on a little bit, is this is a 5-year dream. Who came up with the dream? Who came up with the idea of creating a lake creating all the things that go hand in hand with that lake, as you mentioned, the rowing, the kayaking, all these things.
So it's my understanding, I'm fairly new to river parks, but I grew up in Tulsa. Knowing the history and going through the project, when the flood destroyed the original Tulsa Wave 15, 16 years ago, it finally kind of went away. The local guys that used to play on that kept pushing elected leaders to look at something, what can we do? And so there was a core group of 4 or 5 guys that just kept pushing that this is something that used to bring people in from all over the world. And they pushed, your elected leaders ran it, they proposed it, and really the citizens said, yes, this is what we want. And the citizens want a lake, and they wanted recreation, and they wanted to be able to see in downtown Tulsa that we have a body of water they can use. And then the recreational feature has been an amazing hit that I believed that would be primarily for, you know, the higher end athletes, because it looks very intimidating, as you would say. But it's not as intimidating as it looks. And so the way it's designed with the company that designed the whole wave park, it works well. It keeps you at a lower hazard than you would think you would be at, but it looks impressive. And really, water is just that tranquil thing that everybody enjoys in their life, just hearing it and seeing it. So even if you're not a whitewater person, looking down at it, walking by it, every morning we have people have coffee, sit on the rocks, and just watch the water run. That's something that you would have never imagined in the middle of an industrial city.
No, you wouldn't. And one of the other things intriguing, would you tell, we only got about 30 seconds, would you tell the little brief story about the fellow that came over from Arkansas?
Yeah, so his name was Dave, mid-60s. And we paddled across and talked the whole way. We were kind of going slow so we didn't interrupt the mayor. And he was just so excited to come back. And he paddles the Ozarks because he lives in Arkansas. Those rivers only flow when it rains. And he was just so excited to come out and do rolls and flips and spins. And he's like, it's 2 hours away. This will be my every weekend trip in the summer when our rivers are not flowing. And we've seen an influx of people from 4 to 5 states away that are coming in to use this amenity, and it's what Tulsa is.
It's just what we needed.
Yes.
Well, if you guys will figure out a way to put in a trout stream, I'll get involved. All right?
I would love that myself.
Hey, listen, thank you for coming by.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for all you've done on this and for all your spreading of the good word about it. And I encourage folks at home, get out and see it. Walk the bridge, walk to the other side, especially when Oktoberfest hits.
It's coming.
And it's going to be on us before we know it. We're all out of time. Thank you, and thank you for joining us. See you next trip.